Welcome to the Sports Show. Mike, Max, Patrick Royce, Lavelle E. Neal, and Sid Hartman. Sydney, we always talk about great defenses win football games. There was not much defense played this weekend in the NFL playoffs, but there was some wildly entertaining football.
Yeah, I felt sorry for my friend, Mr. Seattle coach. What a tough loss that was.
We call Pete Carroll. You always call him Mr. Seattle coach. Yeah. We always call Pete Carroll. You always call him Mr. Seattle coach. But anyway, that was quite a game today.
That was quite a game at the Seattle game with Atlanta. I don't think it'll be much of a game next week. I think the 49ers will beat them. And now you got Matt Burke and McKinney got a chance to get in the Super Bowl. I don't know if they can beat the Patriots, but they gave up 28 points today to
Houston,
to an ordinary Houston team. How about that quarterback for the 49ers?
Ooh, Colin Kaepernick.
There's a story there. His father does business with Marty Davis' business.
Really?
Yeah. They're in business together.
Really?
So the guy comes up here. You don't read the paper. So the guy comes up here.
Whoa.
So the guy comes up here very often. So they practically begged the Vikings to give him a tryout. They don't want to look at him. Well, I can see why.
Well, they took Ponder in the first round. They're not going to take Kaepernick in the second round.
Right.
You know? They're not going to draft, him.
Come up in the second round, and boy, he put on a show last night.
You know what we found out yesterday? The coaches are smarter than we are. That when Harbaugh switched to Kaepernick, and then he had a decent game or two.
When Seattle went with Russell Wilson instead of Flynn.
Seattle got
RG3.
Then when he went up and stunk it out against Seattle, people were saying, well, maybe you should go back to Alex Smith. And, they watch practice. They know what they're seeing, and we don't.
That's right.
Okay.
And by the way, Viking fans, that applies to you, too. Mr. Reese and Christian Ponder was taking all the snaps during the year.
That's right.
Lavelle?
Well, you know what? I would have loved to see Pete Carroll and Harbaugh in the conference championship. That would have been a blast. But Russell Tarkenton, man, he is something. He is something else. He runs low. He makes plays. And I thought the game was over at halftime. And the Seahawks came roaring back, and Russell Wilson's just a handful. And he makes throws. I mean, he hits tight windows, and he throws on the run. And he looks smart. He knows what he's doing with the ball. It's too bad.
You know what's great about him? He's running for his life, and he's looking upfield.
I know.
He's looking up to see who's there to throw to.
What'd you think of Russell Wilson?
Wilson.
There's the steal of the draft.
Oh, man.
All I know is Pete Carroll called Bud, and he says, I like this Wilson guy, but I'm being outvoted. They say he's too short. Bud says, don't listen to those guys. I seen that Wilson, and he's not too short. Draft him. So
I
he took
sat
him.
next to Trent Kirshner, the Fulda, Minnesota boy who's got a pretty good job with Seattle, and they thought they were getting a pretty good player, but he said the first 8 times they saw him on the practice field, they just fell in love with him. The coaches, just said, wow.
And they sat down Matt Flynn and all that money on the bench.
Yeah, I mean, if they would have known how good he was, of course they gave Matt Flynn the money earlier, but
But I mean,
man
it's the
alive,
same with
is he a good
Kaepernick
player.
and Smith. I mean, you don't know, but you better be smart enough to make the move.
That's right. He tore my Bears apart, so you saw what type of stuff he could do. And, 49ers, I like their chances against Atlanta next week, I think. I think they play good enough defense, and I think they can do enough on offense. I think they need a downfield threat from the receiver spot. They tried to throw a couple long ones to Monster in the game. It didn't work out, but I think the 49ers could get it done.
Harbaugh family had a pretty good weekend.
Wasn't that something?
I want a Harbaugh Bowl.
How about the Tom Crean coaches against the Gophers?
Yeah.
And then the 2 sons win.
Yeah.
That's unbelievable. Tom Crean he's married to Harbaugh's sister.
Yeah.
You know what? The
wives
wives of all 3 of those guys have to be low maintenance, I would say. Low maintenance, because you got 3 crazy men you're married to.
Crazy men,
Crean
man.
is just as crazy as the Harbaugh brothers.
More so, probably.
Get-togethers there. The conversation's
Yo! Screaming at each other.
Good news is they can charter a
Cut
jet
my
and go
steak
wherever they
too, I
want.
will.
Yeah.
You want to step outside?
Guy from the Ravens doesn't do anything. He's very quiet.
No, he's a pretty
he's
intense guy.
goofy. He's goofy.
He was
His head's about to explode.
Yeah,
at all
did you
times.
see him during the Denver game? He was
No,
like-
no.
You know, I
man.
got to say one thing about Baltimore. They made a really strange move, though, because they changed offensive coordinators during the year and brought a new offensive coordinator. Lavelle, you never see that.
No, you don't. But it worked out. I mean, Flacco's made improvements every year, and they developed some receivers to go around him, and Bolden's like the third wheel there, and he's able to make big plays. It's a nice little team.
Sid, what were you going to say?
Harbaugh has got to be one of the smartest guys. When he was
Which one now?
the guy coaching the 49ers. When he was with Ditka told me when he was there, they never had anybody smarter than him.
Well, that's not true because he threw that pick against the Vikings and Mike
they
Ditka
went
almost
ballistic.
strangled him.
That's right.
Had one of the all-time great press conferences where he said 52 guys knew what we wanted to do and one didn't, and that
I
one
know
cost
it,
us the game.
But he loved him just the same.
Okay.
That one particular situation, he blew his top.
Yes,
but
he
he
did.
was pretty
And
good.
by the way, if you trace the Bears' history, as Lavelle have, you can trace the decline of the Bears to that interception.
Yeah,
Hey,
they were after that.
I was told Bevel's going to get interviewed for that Bears job before it's done. They've interviewed just about everybody.
14 people.
Who do they want? Who do the Bears fans want?
14 people have interviewed for the Bears job.
Who do the
Mark
fans
Trestman's
want?
got a good chance of getting that job, apparently.
Yep.
Phil Emery's doing a very thorough job of scouting candidates. It's going to be interesting to see how it shakes out. But a lot of people with offensive backgrounds. They want to take care of
Is
the
there a
offensive side.
sentimental favorite out there, though?
They're not going to hire
I don't know
anybody
if it's
back.
going to be Belleville. There's a lot of heat behind Trestman right now, and the quarterback, the coach at McCoy, the coach with the Broncos,
Let's
is
put
getting a
it
lot
this way.
of heat too.
They're not going to hire any better than the guy they had, I'll tell you.
Lovey Smith.
Oh, you like Lovie Smith?
Take a break, come back.
It's
The
a new
sports
era.
show. Stay with us. Oh, it's the perfect time, the winter time. Stop by JD Hoyt's before you go to a Timberwolves game or a University of Minnesota game. I was just there the other day. Wow, Pat's got it going on. Great downtown location. Stop on by JD Hoyt's anytime. Mike, Max, Patrick Royce, Lavelle E. Neal, Sid Hartman. The name of the show is The Sports Show. Were you going to say something?
No, I'm waiting for you to
Okay. We were talking before the show about the Hall of Fame and the fact that nobody got in. Lavelle votes on it. All three of you vote on it. What happened? Who did you vote for? What went down?
I voted for Morris. I didn't vote for any of those other guys.
So you just cast
One person?
You just cast one
You voted
vote?
for one vote?
Oh, I voted for
Said
several
steroid
guys.
guys. You didn't vote for the steroid guys.
No.
Yeah.
I didn't either.
Well, who
But
else? Who
but
else did
I
you vote
just-
for?
I don't like this setup. You can't tell me that they can't put a couple guys in every year. Jack Morris is a Hall of Fame pitcher, and it just makes no sense. They think they're a bunch of sacred cows, all these guys voting, in my opinion. I just can't see how they don't put a couple of guys in
Tough
every year.
standard. Next year, there's going to be 5 guys go in.
Yeah.
Next year,
Maddox,
Biggio
Glavine.
will get in next year, and Glavine and Maddox and Frank Thomas will all get in
And
next year. And then
Jeff
we'll say,
Canton,
why are
they're
they
gonna
putting
get
so
votes.
many guys in the Hall of Fame?
I know. You know what? I think the system's fine. You've got 15 years to get in. And I think it's great that it's one of the most exclusive Hall of Fames of all the sports. And you got 15 years to get in. So if you're not in after 15 years, then you're not a Hall of Famer.
People complain about, Jack's taking 14 years, but why didn't this guy get in the first year? Well, why is Chris Carter waiting? If you've got such a good system in the NFL,
That's right.
Why is Chris Carter
the NFL
entering his 6th year on the
The
ballot?
NFL system's
Wide
horrible.
receivers don't get in for some reason.
Yeah, but the NFL,
Michael Irvin's in. A lot of guys are in.
the NFL system's backwards, man. And any system in which Michael Irvin gets in before someone like Art Monk, I got problems with how that stuff goes on.
Chris Carter, just the numbers. There's nothing to debate here. Just put him in.
Well, he'll probably get into this time, probably.
What's a bigger crime? Jack Morris not being in the Hall of Fame or Mick Tingelhoff not being in the Hall of Fame?
What do you think? You saw Tingelhoff play every game.
Mick Tingelhoff not being in the Hall of
16
Fame.
years in the Pro Bowl. 16 Pro Bowls.
Sid, how many people vote for the NFL Hall of Fame?
Centers got in that Jim Langer. I like Jim Langer. Jim Langer, I don't think was as good as
Played 9 or
Tingelhoff.
10 years.
Huh?
Played a much shorter time than Tingelhoff did. That's the one I've never been able to figure out. 16 Pro Bowls, I think it was 16.
How many people go to this NFL Hall of Fame meeting? What is it?
It's one from each town, right?
Yeah, but now they've expanded it. What do you got, Sid, now? Low 40s, 40-some voters now? They've expanded it beyond the
Close
team.
to 40. One from every town.
But then they've added some
And there's
people.
some other guys in
Yeah.
there. But it's changed. it used to be a lot better. It's got a bunch. All the old-time guys are gone. Will McDonough, Bob Oates, Furman Bisher.
They all have good excuses for not being there.
Yeah, at least they have good excuses.
That's right.
They're dead. Tim Kirchner, I saw ESPN on, he said that he goes sleepless before he votes.
Yeah, Timmy's a very worrywart. I don't vote for the steroid guys, and I also get driven crazy by the people saying, well, Bonds and Clemens were Hall of Famers before they started using steroids. That's not why I don't vote for them.
Right.
They cheated.
Right, exactly.
He cheated.
But you're not you're a big first ballot Hall of Fame guy. And I think if a guy's a Hall of Famer, he should get in and just move on to the
I'm
next
not going to
phase.
vote for Piazza the first year because he hit more home runs as a catcher than anybody because he couldn't catch. If you're lousy at the position, then I just judge you by your offense.
But in
I'll
baseball,
never vote for Jeff
baseball,
Kent.
you accept offense you at the sacrifice of some defense.
I'll never vote for Jeff Kent as a second, based on his second base stats,
That's
because
fine.
he was a butcher.
So you'll decide if his hitting alone was
Yes.
good enough to get him in.
So you never vote for Piazza.
Well, Paul
Probably in a
Molitor
year or two.
didn't
Well, see,
play
that's
him.
my thing, though. If you think he's a Hall of Famer in a year or two, why don't you just do it now and let's move on to
Because
the
I
next
want to
phase.
see him. I want people to know I didn't think he was that good.
taking his
I
show
disagree with that notion.
Well, is Kurt,
I voted for
let me
8
ask
people.
this. Is
I voted
Kurt,
for 8
is
people.
Kurt Schilling and Jack Morris in the same category,
Yes.
kind of?
Although Schilling was a
I was
money
surprised
pitcher.
Schilling got that few votes.
Schilling is a money pitcher in the postseason. I voted for
Well, so
Schilling.
is Jack.
But you look at Schilling's postseason record; it's ridiculous.
Like, but
Morrison's
Jim Cobb-
numbers in the postseason aren't that great.
Quiet
Body
for
of
a
work-
second.
Wait, here we go.
You're the
Here we go.
first guy to be struck for talking too much.
Violence.
Jim Cott had the best statement. He said, "I'm not a Hall of Fame pitcher."
Yeah, well, he'd like to get in now, though. I think he's changed his mind.
But let me
I
ask
think
you
he
this.
hopes the vet committee gets him in next
Should
time.
Jim Cott get in because of his pitching and then what he contributed to baseball after it got done? Should it be
No,
a
they have
total?
different categories for those.
And you can't lump
Can't
them. You
put 'em
can't say
together. No.
you're a Hall of Famer for all you've done for baseball.
No.
No.
Okay.
I think Cott will make it, though.
On the Veterans Committee?
Jim Cott will
And that's the
make it.
thing.
I
There's a
think he'll
Veterans
make it with
Committee
the
now.
Veterans Committee.
You will?
There's a Veterans Committee now that's supposed to clean up the messes that we allegedly create.
Yeah.
The Veterans Committee has been just as tough, if not
Yeah.
tougher, with their votes.
Yeah, that's a
I
different
don't
group
think there's
there,
anything
man.
wrong with the system.
All right, take a break, come back, sports show. Stay with us. No, there's nothing like an Audi. Stop on by, see Bruce Bonine, new dealers, same great commitment to you, new owners. And boy, that Q7 sure hugs the road this time of year. Perfect all-wheel drive if you like an SUV. Welcome back to the sports show. Timberwolves are struggling a mighty. Ricky Rubio shooting 20% from the floor. We knew he wasn't a very good shooter, but categorically, people have to understand that if you put Rubio here, you might as well put him here for this year because he is a below-average guard right now in his current state.
Well, with those knees, some guys come and get back in a hurry, like Adrian Peterson. Other guys don't come back. I mean, the dumbest thing they ever did was sign that Roy, give him $5 million for crying out loud.
The problem was
with all
playing
the
him 30
problems
minutes.
he's got. And
I'm sorry, Lavelle had something to say.
I just said the
keep
problem, the problem was you talk too much, Sid. The problem was playing Roy all those heavy minutes early in the season.
Roy,
Yes.
That's what he said. Timberwolves, Patrick.
Yeah, you can't play with,
What are you
no
gonna do,
bodies,
right?
Nobody's there. Now Berea's got a bad back. He tried to play tonight, but
It's almost a lost season for them. They have love.
You hate to say it, don't you?
Yeah.
But it's on the fringe.
It is. It's a lost season. They've been trying to put it together. I feel sorry for Alderman because his wife has been hospitalized. They've had a lot of negativity with that franchise.
Okay, official statement. Gopher basketball. Are they a good team? What did we see yesterday? There are two different articles written in your paper. The game story indicated that you should not be happy with what the way the Gophers played. You indicated a lot of optimism coming out of that.
I thought they're a pretty good basketball team to come back the way they did in the toughest place in a place to play in the Big Ten. And I think they're the best team in the Big Ten. They're top seven men. I mean, I don't think their depth is that good, but I think you got Williams, you got Mbakwe, you got Hollins,
You got Hollins.
you got Jill Coleman. You got some pretty good basketball
Where do you
players.
put this
I
one
like him a
categorically?
lot. I like him a lot. I think that I think they'll run a table at Williams Arena. I think they'll go 9-0 here. I think
Big game against
I think
Michigan
they'll
coming
beat Michigan. What they're going to have to look out for is like slipping up at places like Iowa and Wisconsin and those road games like that. You got to, I think you got to. Everybody's saying he can win with 5 losses. I think you got to go 14-4 minimum.
But winning the Big Ten really doesn't mean that. It's just just be ready for the NCAA tournament, Lavelle.
When you go on the road in the Big Ten, you got.
Why do you have to ask him to talk?
I wanted his opinion. He's a Big Ten
talks all the
graduate.
time.
When you go on the road in the Big Ten, you got to figure out ways to stop the bleeding. And the Gophers ran a lot of trouble. They missed shots. Their transition defense was terrible. And Indiana was red hot in that first half.
Those are great points.
And the other thing you have to watch out for.
Defense is terrible?
Their transition defense was terrible in the first half against Indiana. And the thing you have to watch out for in the Big Ten, these referees, man, in the Big Ten are
now
not good.
You're going to get something he agrees with.
Ted Valentine is terrible.
He's your buddy.
I really think these referees get on the road, get on these stadiums, they fall into. How
do you know? You never go to a game.
How do you know, Sid? I've been to Gophers games.
Hey, Sid, this Ted Valentine, you and him are all before the games.
You come over to me, I didn't come to you.
But you're right there to give him a thumbs up.
He's a wreck.
Nice thing about Teddy is why don't they just save the money and just have him do the whole game? The other
really?
No.
Oh, my God.
One team shoots 40 free throws, one shoots 15. There's something wrong with the officiating.
These referees fall into the atmosphere, and I think they start making calls in the favor of the whole
Joe
team.
Coleman's going to go.
Would you stop for a few minutes?
Joe Coleman's going to go for 29 every once in a while. That's a pretty good team because he's been the weak link to this point.
had to bring
all of
up
a
that.
sudden he goes and gets 29.
No, all 5 guys can do
I
something
like
different.
the top 5 a lot, and I like Welch. Beyond that, I don't like
agree.
the bench.
It's a good team. He'll
They
do a
got
lot of
about
damage.
7 players.
Who's the 7th?
Otto.
I think
Maverick?
One little guard might be
Messi or Otto?
2 guards.
might be decent.
Mo Walker was the one they were counting on that I don't think they're counting on anymore.
If he could come through.
He slows down their offense. He's too slow.
What do you think? What do you think of Mo Walker?
Mo Walker has been a flopperoo so far.
But he's the guy that they could use 6 minutes out of,
He could make them unbeatable.
I agree. Yeah, if he could give him 6 good minutes tonight.
Sid, Thursday night, that old dump will be jumping like it hasn't been jumping in about 15
They're
years.
sold out already.
Oh, yeah.
Scalpers are going to get a ton for tickets. And Michigan got beat today. They'll beat Michigan by 10, 12
Oh, it
points.
feels good in there right
That's going
now.
to be a tough game, man, because Taylor may be one of the best point guards in the country, and you got a Hardaway's kid and Glenn Robinson's kid, too. That's a good team.
Let me tell you something. They had to play Indiana, Mr. Expert on all sports. They had to play Indiana. Indiana played Penn State on Monday night. They didn't play again until Saturday. They had to play Illinois on Wednesday, fly back to Minneapolis, practice one day, practice a half a day, and go play Indiana.
So what?
That's true, but I mean,
okay.
they also had like 10 days to prepare for Michigan State, at home. Take a break, come back, stay with us.
I says,
Yeah, check it out. Score with the Minnesota Vikings, KickHungerChallenge.com. Donate any amount. And Big Wayne is getting ready for the big Super Bowl, and he's got a big shindig going on
I
there
asked
this
Sid
year.
a question.
It's got to be hockey. We haven't talked about hockey yet.
Oh, hey, the season's starting next Saturday against Colorado. Hockey Day in Minnesota. I'm excited. Sid, now after watching that Packer defense last night, are the Vikings now the favorites to win the NFC North next fall?
definitely not.
Why not?
Maybe they should be. I don't know. That Packer defense, he said he should have learned from Joe Webb. What could he learn from Joe Webb?
Well, everybody's saying Vikings should have ran Joe Webb more, but my theory is if you show you can complete a pass, then they got to play you a little different.
A little bit different ball
That's
game.
right.
NHL's back. So is everybody going to forget Minnesota from a while? Are they upset? Or do you think this will affect other markets but not here?
What's that?
The NHL and the Wild coming back.
I don't know. I just think there's franchises don't draw this time of the year regardless.
This one
I mean,
does.
I see more empty seats. I got 9 TVs, and I'm watching sports all the time. And I've never seen many empty seats in so many arenas in my life as this year.
Even for what now? Basketball or what?
Basketball,
Everything.
football.
For everything.
All right, boys. Thursday night, Gophers, Michigan. Wolves home with
Clippers.
Wolves home with Clippers. Friday, North Dakota, Gophers. Saturday, North Dakota, Gophers, Gophers. There's another.
No
Wolves,
basketball.
Wolves.
Wolves
McHale.
Rockets.
Yep.
Wolves McHale and Wild opener.
Yep. So
Right for 3 days.
I'll see you at
How about
Target
that,
Center,
Sam?
buddy.
They'll all sell out.
I don't know if they're all sold
Let me
out,
see.
but
I don't know
it's
that-
a lot of action.
I got tickets to the Wolves
That's the
game.
trouble with this town. You got all these teams playing the same night.
Sid,
wanna
when
get
you're
rid of a
playing
team now?
48 When you're playing 48 games in 99 days, you can't be choosy.
Right.
Let me tell you, my argument is this. Madison Square Garden, Staples Arena,
Yeah.
they all have
Multiple tenants.
multiple franchises. They're stupid people over in St. Paul and here should submit one schedule
Well,
and say, okay, this is the way it's got to
yeah,
be.
but this year all bets are off
Yeah.
for that
Yeah.
48-game schedule. But you're right; they never get together. I don't think, do they?
Nope.
They should.
Yeah.
You know, if schedule makers were smart, the Twins wouldn't be opening the season at home on what, April 4th or
I think
3rd?
they're done doing the Twins favors, especially
Are
after
they at home this year,
195
open?
games in 2 years.
Yep.
See you back here
Lakers
next
never
week,
played
everybody,
a
on
game in the
Sports
night the
Show.
Gophers played.
Nice